Hello YouTube, this is OJ Cubing. Today is my birthday and so we've got another unboxing from Corner Twist. Okay, so as you can see we have the 5x5x5 Megaminx, commonly known as the Gigaminx, and the Qiyi Wuque. So I'm going to be doing a review on both of these cubes in this video, so let's start off with the Gigaminx. Wow, so the first impressions of this is it's very oily on the outside. I actually really not liking to hold this, so I'm going to get back and quickly wipe off all the lube. Well, that is just such a classic Shengshou thing to do. And if you have a look at the colour scheme here, it looks pretty nice, pretty standard for a Megaminx. This is my Shengshou Megaminx, and they seem to have the same colour scheme, so that is all good. So yeah, I'm really excited to get into this puzzle just because, I mean, I've never had a Gigaminx before, I've never even solved one before, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to do it just by using 5x5 tricks and Megaminx. So let's do some first turns, if I can. It is a little bit rough to turn, these layers, but actually it's getting better just after doing a few turns of it. Let's try the middle layers. Yeah, that's actually pretty good for a 5x5, I mean, Gigaminx that is, but it's not the best turning of puzzles, but you don't exactly need to speed cube it or anything, so it's all fine. Let's have a look at how much tolerance it has for corner cutting. Yeah, it's not bad actually. It looks like it's gonna not be too much of a pain to turn. So yeah, I think let's go for a scramble then. Gosh, I can feel the sort of resistance in the faces now. Hopefully that should get better over time. Well, I think that looks just about scrambled, and just look at what this looks like. Just a mad spray of colours everywhere. Yeah, I am really looking forward to solving this actually. Hopefully I'll be able to do it without a tutorial. But yeah, let's go on to the Wuque. Colour scheme seems pretty good. I mean, the blue's a bit dark, but that's to be expected from a Qiyi cube, and it feels quite light actually. I think it might be lighter than my Alsu. So let's get into first turns. Okay, so out of the box, it's rather scratchy, I'd say. Let's do some... Yeah, it definitely needs a little bit of setting up, but that's obviously to be expected from a 4x4. Right, even as I'm doing these turns, it's starting to break in a little bit better. Let's have to say the middle slices are very good for middle slices. I'm quite impressed by that. If we compare this to my Moyu Alsu, you can see that they look about the same size. But as you can see, the shapes of the pieces are what really makes it stand out. With the Alsu, you just have the flooring holes everywhere. But with these, they're obviously a lot more defined, and you can see that the shape is actually properly taken into account rather than just these sort of basic square stickers. So yeah, I'm going to go give this a little bit of a scramble so that I can solve it. It is definitely locking up and not wanting to move much at the moment, but as I say, I haven't even lubed or tensioned it yet, and so that will be a very key part in setting this cube up. Okay, so I've done that solve, and I think I must have said I don't like this puzzle quite yet. Just something about it just means that it's not turning particularly great at the moment. Let's have a look at some corner cutting. Let's go half a cube forwards. Maybe a little bit over half a cube, I guess. That's not particularly great. You can't exactly go for it from there. Let's go for reverse. Again, just over about half a cube. And then for middle layers, some cutting there. Not particularly much. Go for forwards. I always find with 4x4s, there's always better forwards cutting in the middle layers than there are in the outer layers, which is kind of weird. That does cut, but then that starts... there we go, it's properly locked up there. So yeah, as I said, I'm going to go lube this up and I'll be back with you when I'm done. And there we go, I've solved it. Wow. Gosh, the edge pairing on this just seems to take absolutely forever. There's so many edges on it. But yeah, this was a very fun puzzle to solve. It was actually quite difficult to turn in the middle of a solve, but that is what you expect from a Shengshou. They make cheaper products and you don't get as great a turning quality, but that's fine. One thing I will say is I don't yet know if I can solve every single state. So if we had this edge pairing parity like this, I don't think I'd be able to solve it on the Gigaminx using the algorithm I already know. So that is the one case where I probably wouldn't be able to solve it, but thankfully I didn't get that case this time. But yeah, this was a big ball of fun to solve. Yeah. Jokes aside, I really do like this puzzle, but I probably wouldn't be playing around with it too much because it is quite tedious and long. But yeah, it is a very good fun one to have in my collection. So guys, I have had the Wuque now for about a month and I'm ready to make my final review on it. All I can say is I absolutely love this puzzle. I've been getting into 4x4 a lot more recently, just because of how good it turns actually. I think it turned a lot better after I set it up and lubed it and broke it in and everything. I don't think it was particularly great out of the box, but in terms of comparing it to my Aosu, it was so much better. And I've gone from having about 10 sub ones maybe to now having almost 70, and that's just in the space of a month. And so yeah, I'm getting loads of sub ones now. I actually just got my first sub one average of 12 and a pure sub one average of 5, which was about 55 seconds. My new PB has dropped from about 57 to 48, and so yeah, I have really been improving on 4x4. Now partly that's because it's turning better, but partly it's because I'm enjoying solving it more than I did with my Aosu, which was just so frustrating to turn. And as you can see, it does still lock up quite a bit, but that's because it's a 4x4 and you have to expect that from the bigger cubes. But yeah, I really love this puzzle. I think it's the best on the market. I mean, I know the Thunderclap 4x4s are coming out soon, but I think this will still stay as my favourite for quite a long time. And then just to mention the Gigaminx again, after solving it a couple of times, it is really quite difficult to turn. It might not seem it when you're doing these sort of turns. When you start doing algorithms, you get a notice of how difficult it is. But it is a really fun puzzle to solve. If you just want to sit down and solve something for half an hour or so, then this is a really fun puzzle to do it with. And I've actually created my own sort of a method called Free Hemisphere, which is kind of based off the 5x5 and upwards for free slice, but it involves using a hemisphere and then having the whole sort of thing for it. It's a bit confusing and I can definitely develop it a lot more, but it is quite fun. And yeah, this puzzle is actually really good fun if you're looking for a big puzzle that you want to solve quite often. It's quite cheap actually for only 20 quid. So yeah guys, that is going to be the end of this video here. I'm about to go magnetize my 4x4 and you can see a link to that in the description when I've done that. Hopefully that'll make it even better and maybe I'll get more sub 1s and hopefully even more sub 50s. But for now guys, that is the end of this video. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!